Hi everyone, it's Christina from Christina's Garden Life. I hope you're having a beautiful spring. Today I wanted to do a video to show you the after effects of winter sowing and really to show you winter sowing from start to finish. So I found online that there were a lot of great winter sowing videos, but you couldn't see the after and the before together. So I wanted to merge them together, show you end to end. I will clip to the end so I can show you on the screen. I'll put a timestamp of when you can skip to if you just want to see the after effects, but I will also go back in time to show you a video of when I planted and started my seed starting so that you can kind of see the whole thing from beginning to end. So as many of you know, winter sowing is a technique that allows you to seed start almost completely outside in the winter, and it's a really nice kind of lazy technique to garden and start your seeds because you don't need grow lights, you don't need to harden off your plants, you don't need to water. Basically all you need is some recycled plastic. You poke some holes in it, you plant your seeds, you leave it outside all winter long. It creates a mini, almost like a mini cold frame for all of your plants. And then in the spring, you get these huge leaves coming at the top and your plants are ready to get in the garden. So really easy technique. So again, I will show you how I seed started in the beginning of the year as we go back in time, and then I will show you how to take them out of all of these plants and how many plants I got, and then also show you how I put them in the garden. So here we are in old freezing cold Christina. So let's go watch that video first, and I hope you enjoy. First thing you want to do is rinse out your containers. So these I have rinsed. They probably have a little bit of water in them, which I'll shake out. And then you do, if your container does have some sort of plastic coating on them, you want to take it out so that you let your plants get as much light as possible. So I'm just going to use my box knife to kind of get started taking this plastic wrapping off. And then you have your container and your cap. You actually don't need your caps. So same with the milk jugs or whatever technique you do, you don't need a cap. You want to be able to have that top open so that some rain and condensation can get in, or snow. And then you also want your water to come out. So what you want to do is put some holes in the bottom here to ensure that you have good drainage throughout. So I'm going to do that first. And what I'm doing is a crisscross. And then just kind of twisting the box knife around. I'm sure there's a great way to do this. This works. And then the next thing that you want to do is you're going to cut it so that you create a hinge. So let me show you one that I've already done. But basically you're going to want it so that it is hinged, so that you can end up putting the dirt in the inside and then having the cover go over, and you'll end up duct taping that. So you make a little greenhouse for your plants. So when we're cutting across on these Starbucks containers, I use 3 of the quadrants and I just cut along the seam and you cut across. That should do it. And what I do is I just take my potting mix, put it in my little container here. And then I am going to use my watering can with water and put a good amount in here. What you're going to do is you mix it up, and you want to get it to a consistency that is more muddy. So definitely has wet all the way through and really sticks together nicely. That's kind of perfect. So what I'm going to do next is put it in. And all you do here is you're putting it in. I don't think there's a graceful way of doing this, maybe a slightly less messy way. But you're going to put it in, pack it in a bit to your container. This is actually a lot. I'll probably do about to that second mark. And that is it. I am going to start with this zinnia packet. The back of the information really doesn't have around winter sowing techniques. So for example, this says that it will germinate from 3 to 5 days. That does not happen with winter sowing. So when you are winter sowing, your germination period takes much longer, but your seeds are harder and more ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just like a 1/4 inch little hole for it, and then cover that with soil. So I'm going to poke little holes, little kind of divots, about a 1/4 inch. I think I'm going to do, I don't know, six or so. And I'm actually going to put 2 in each hole. See how they do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 7. I did 7 holes in this, and that might be a little bit close, but that's okay. So last thing we're going to do here is just cover it up. So that said firm but light, so I'm just doing a tiny bit of dirt over all of these, but tapping it down really nicely. So again, they're about a 1/4 inch under the surface, and tapping them firmly down. And that's the hard part. So I am not going to water these in again. You can also use a spray bottle and kind of spray them in if you want to be a little gentler with your seedlings, or a very, very light pour. But I'm going to leave them like that. And then what you do is you duct tape around this hinge. All right, let's hold that together. Give it a little once over, smooth it out. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then you're going to use my label maker. So this is when you can use a permanent marker as well, but a lot of you have definitely seen the effects of permanent markers kind of washing off over the winter. So I do find that the label maker works, and I do a little duct tape to keep it in place. So, and then I just stick the label on right on the front there. And then, as I said, I'm just going to take a little duct tape, split it in half, and stick it on each side just to keep it kind of tucked in here. And that's it. So I'm going to take these containers, put them on the side, and that is it. But thanks. So I've been covering my winter sowing with these season extenders. It's really not a requirement. I do it just honestly because I get a lot of animals that come and try to eat my seeds. So I find that this helps to protect it from the critters, not as much from the temperatures. Again, I'm in zone 7, so pretty mild temperatures here. But let's see what we've got. All right, so you will see we have tons and tons of plants here. Little packed in, but almost everything has come and grown. We can look and peek into each of these and see that there is a lot of great growth. The red amaranth right there, but really across the board, all of them grew in really well. So I'm going to open a few of these to show you, and then I will get some in the ground. So as you can see, some of the tops are already removed. That is because they just got too big. So they were already popping out of their containers, so I did take off the covers. There are many other ones like this one that are almost at the top, so it's a perfect time. So I am going to start with some of these zinnias and just show you how I take them off. So really easy to do. This one is zinnia pink, and this is actually one of the giant rose varieties, so they get very big, almost like a dahlia size. All you do is you take off your duct tape, this is good duct tape. And there you have it. All the zinnia is ready to go. And so what I do is I squeeze it, and this is really the hardest part, is getting them out. So I'm going to probably use some sort of a tray to help me get them out. And it's interesting because if you see the ones here that don't have the support, they have grown with support, so they're a little floppy. So I probably waited a little too long to take these covers off, but that's okay. So I don't make a massive mess. I'm going to use a bowl here, and I'm actually going to tip these upside down and see if I can get them out this way. So pulling just gently. Yep, they're coming out with the root ball. Nice and gentle so I don't ruin any of these nice little stems here. And I can pull it out, and voila, there we have it. And then what I want to do is separate them. So you'll see that I have 2 zinnias per hole on this one. Some of them I did that, some of them I didn't. So I'm going to separate them out. So now that I've gotten them out, you'll see that we have the root ball here, and there are 2 zinnias per hole. I did plant 2 per hole. I'm going to leave it for like that for now. You could end up cutting one back, but I will leave it for now. These zinnias, it says on the packaging that if you separate the roots too much, or if the roots break too much, then they won't get as big. They'll turn to normal zinnia size. So I'm going to do my best to not break the roots. See how I just pulled that apart? Just really, really gently pulling them apart so as to keep them as separate as possible. So here's a plant. These ones are very close together, so they might end up being a little smaller, but if you tug softly, and if your soil is moist enough, you should have success. So I'm going to separate the rest of these, and then I will show you how I plant them in the garden. So I have a nice spot back here. Zinnias get very tall, so I want them at the very back of my bed. So I am just going to dig a couple of tiny little holes and put my root balls in there. And they will be pretty flopped over, but that's okay. They'll get strong. And a lot of people do direct sow seeds for zinnias, so you can do that as well. Ooh, I think there's a little dahlia right there. So all you're going to do is you take your little plant, pop it in the hole, cover it up. You can fertilize, but I'm not going to fertilize just yet. And you have a nice little zinnia plant right here. Do it again with the one next to it. Pop it in the hole, cover it up, and there you have it. One more, pop it in the hole, cover it up, and there you have it. Nice and easy. You have 3 beautiful plants here, actually multiple because they're close together, and that is it. Winter sowing in a nutshell. And so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned a little bit more about seed starting, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Enjoy your spring flowers.
And I'm Christina's dad. I came to give her some advice.